Good morning, class 11. Today I'm going to start economics. Today I'm going to start from your microeconomics portion. This one is your first class after your midterm examination of microeconomics. I have given two classes for your statistic portion, and this one is your microeconomics first class. Today I'm going to start the chapter price elasticity of demand. See, price elasticity of demand. Economics define elasticity of demand as to how reactive the demand for a product is to change in a factor such as price or income. Let us learn more about the price elasticity of demand. However, before we go further discussion, let us briefly let's go with the further discussion of price elasticity of demand. Now, as mentioned earlier, the elasticity of demand measures how factors such as price and income affect the demand for a product. Price elasticity of demand measures how the change in a product price affect its associated demand. Now, you can measure the price elasticity of demand mathematically as follows. Price elasticity of demand equal to percentage change in quantity demand percentage change in price. This is the formula of price elasticity of demand. See, coefficient of price elasticity. Economics measures the price elasticity of demand in coefficient. In response to the change in price, demand for a product can be elastic, perfectly elastic, inelastic, or perfectly inelastic based on the coefficient. Now you need to understand that since price and demand move in opposite directions, the coefficient will have negative value. However, in most cases, economics do not use the negative signs and focus on the coefficient itself. Let us now look at the numerical value of the coefficient of PED, means price elasticity of demand. Now I am going to describe you in diagrammatic way coefficient of price elasticity of demand. Now, first, perfectly inelastic. The shape of perfectly inelastic is in this way. See, this is the price and this is a demand. Price, and this one is the DD is the demand, this one is the quantity. When the quantities are 50, here quantity is the 100, this one is the 150, 200 and so on, and the price is 55, suppose rupees 55, you can put again 10, again sorry, it's a 5, okay, lower from, you have to start from the lower, 5, 10, 15, 20. As price is increasing here from 5 to 20 and quantity is from 50 to 200. Your demand curve is here in the middle. Your demand curve is same. This is the situation is a perfectly inelastic when PD equal to 0. When the price elasticity of demand or PD is 0, then demand is perfectly inelastic. That is, there is no change in quantity demand in response to change in the price. The demand curve remains vertical. Demand is completely unresponsive to the change in the price. Now next one is inelastic. Here PD equal to, or you may say PD is between 0 and 1. Here demand curve in this way. Again, this is a price side and this is a quantity side. This axis is a quantity, this axis is a price, and this one your demand GD. If the percentage change in demand is less than the percentage change in price, then the demand is inelastic. For instance, let us say that the price of chocolate increased from rupees 10 to 20, the associated demand decreased from 10 chocolate to 5 chocolate. It may be happen when the price is increases from 10 to 20 and the demand may be decreased from 10 to 5. So now the PD will be 50% divided by 100%, which is in 0.5. Hence the demand here is inelastic. Next, elastic or unit elastic. Here PED equal to 0. Sorry, PD equal to 1. Your curve of demand, this is your price curve, then here is a quantity curve, quantity axis, sorry. Here your demand curve. Now in this diagram, elastic or unit elastic, when the percentage of change in demand is the same as the percentage of change in price, then the demand is unit elastic. For example, let us say that the price of candy dropped from rupees 10 to rupees 5 and demand increases from 10 candies to 15 candies. Here the percentage of change in demand is equal to the percentage change in the price. 50% divided by 50%, which is always 1. Now perfectly elastic, that is PD is greater than 1. This is a price axis and this one is the quantity axis. Here 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, and price by 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. All these are in rupees. Here demand curve is in the perfectly elastic, PD is greater than 1 in a straight line. If the percentage of change in demand is more than the percentage of change in price, then the demand is perfectly elastic. For instance, if a 0% increase in price causes a 20% drop in demand, then the coefficient of PD is 3, which means that demand is perfectly elastic. Now, factors that affect the elasticity. Number 1, actually, now you are very much familiar with the coefficient of the price elasticity of demand. Let us understand the factor that affect the elasticity of demand. Number 1, number of substitute available. If there are several substitute or brands available for product, then the elasticity of demand for product will be high, because consumer can shift from one brand to another depending on the change in price. Chocolate, for instance, is a good example of substitute. Consumer can choose between several brands. Here's the example of substitute available here: chocolate. Price of product in relation to income. Now, when the household income changes, the demand for goods and service also varies in response to the income. Hence, the demand for product and service become elastic. Now, cost of substitution. Substitution. In some cases, the result of changing from one brand to another may be quite high. For instance, if a certain cable service that has a lock-in period of deposit, then an existing consumer cannot change to another service, although inexpensive, without losing the deposit. Hence, the demand becomes inelastic. Now, next one is brand loyalty. Sometimes consumers are loyal to a specific product. In a such case, the price change in the product will not affect the demand of the consumer. Brand loyalty, therefore, inelastic demand, or you can say there is inelastic inelastic PED. Now, necessary goods such as medicine, petrol usually have an inelastic demand, as consumers have to purchase those goods irrespective of change in the price. The demand remains unchanged. I hope you people have understood this chapter. Next class I will continue with the new chapter. Till then, keep practicing, stay healthy.